Yeah, my ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's keeping warm and well. My iPad is way behind. Have I adjusted this right? Whatever. Let's do the hellos. Marilyn is the first one in. The lovely Marilyn. How are you doing? And Jazzy Frazzle. Love that name. Nice to see you. Don't know if I've seen you before. Moran is here. Hi, Moran. Good to see you. And Rob. Hello, Rob. Golden, the lovely Golden. Judith. Our Sandra. Fifi Faye. The lovely Kim. Hello, Kim. How are you doing? And Freudis. Hello. Kathy's here. Hi, Kathy. And Nancy. And Lois. And Ellie. We have Stephanie Reed. Hello. Elspeth. Becky. Tina Marie. Hello. Will. Hello, Will. Al, Chris. Hi, Chris. How are you doing? I always feel like Joey Tribbiani when I'm like, how are you doing? Dawn. Hello, Dawn. Who else have we got? The lovely Lily Rose. How are you? We meet again. We certainly do. Sunny Oak. Hello. Morsu. Nice to see you. And Gruen. How are you doing, Gruen? Good to see you again. Luna Lit. And Tammy Pie. Hi, Tammy Pie. Maureen. And Ferdiad. Hello, Ferdiad. We have Heidi. Hello, Heidi. And Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Ella. Hello. Marie. Nice to see you. So many lovely people here. Taro Kate. Hello. Long time no see. It is. How have you been? Wheelhouse. Rolf. Hello, Rolf. Devi. Nice to see you. We have see, I don't want to miss anybody out. Forever We're After. Hello. Trisha. Hi, Trisha. Good to see you. Nadine. Nice to see you, Nadine. Amanda. And Valley Sky. Hello. And then Salon Centric. Hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, and I've caught up. So, how is everybody doing? Hope everybody is well. I just want to start off first and foremost. She's not been seen in the community for a couple of years, but I just wanted to send out some. You'll notice I've got a candle here that doesn't normally appear there, but our Selkie, she was, before suffering quite a lot of illnesses and struggles in recent years, was very active in our online community, Selkie Field, and even came to our first tarot meetup in Nottingham. She's very poorly and in hospital. She's had a lot of health battles, as I said, in recent years, but at the moment she's in hospital and she's quite poorly, and she put out that she wanted people's any healing or anything that can be set. She's had a bleed on brain, and because she'd had a fall. So I just wanted to just acknowledge that and send love to one of our own, our Selkie, who I always think of fondly, and the time we spent with her. So I'm sure you'll join me in sending love, healing, and blessings to Selkie. And if you ever do watch this, Selkie, from hospital or wherever, we're sending you love. Much love to you. Yeah, I mean, it's been a couple of years since Selka's been online, but you know, I check in every so often with her Facebook and see her posts and things. She is a druid, and I think she gets a lot of support from her druid family as well, because she often talks about them. So, um, what did Robin say? I saw something about a challenge. Let me see. It's not let me scroll up. Oh, the challenge, whether to stay indoors or run to the cafe and watch the snow. I might take a little break and bring my phone with me to watch in the cafe. Yeah, do it. Although I never realised until Romin's just been live, he go the hour prior to this, and he leaned back and he opened the curtains, and I never realised that there was a window right next to him. Of all the years I've been watching him from his apartment, I never realised there was a window there, and he just kind of looked out and he was talking about the snow. You've had a lot of snow in New York, haven't you? It started way before Christmas. And thank you to everybody who's sent love and healing to Selkie. I can see all the comments coming in. Trisha says, I remember Selkie from ages ago. Haven't seen her in a long time. I'll definitely put a candle and send healing her way. Yeah. She's a good one, is Selkie. Yeah, so thank you everybody who's sent love and some messages of support. So what's been happening? What's everybody got as a cuppa? I've been on tea today. I went out first thing this morning. I left at 5:20, as I always do, and it started to rain, and I mean really rain. So we abandoned the walk halfway through, and then went to a coffee shop, and I had a big mug of coffee. And I think because it was so cold, I had to stop twice on the way home to use the toilet. Otherwise, I would have made it. Bladder of a walnut, I tell you. But and then tea doesn't seem to affect me as much as coffee. Isn't that bizarre? So I've been on tea all day because, yeah, I don't know if I picked up a bit of a chill or something, but I'm going to the toilet a lot. Why am I telling you this? Oh dear, I just don't have a filter anymore. I would like to invite you and everyone to my 1-year channel anniversary. Ah, how lovely. Is it a year? Wow. I'll have to see, you know, obviously what time, but I'll come and support. Of course I will. I can't believe it's a year. In some ways, it feels, Marilyn, like you've been around forever. And that's a good sign, isn't it? That, you know, you're a fixture in the community, that it's like you've always been there. It's done that thumped up again, look, even though I wasn't doing that. Hot coffee, last week it was the upper 60s, and today it's freezing cold again. Telling us your toilet habits, Simon. I know, it's like, it's not what you want to hear, is it? That's brutal to go through. We'll light a candle tonight. Thank you. Coffee is a diuretic. Yeah. Went to St. Mary, St. Mary's. Went to St. Martin's in the Field Cafe in the Crypt in central London. That sounds fun. So I've been drinking tea all afternoon. More tea, Vicar. I'm drinking Baileys on ice. Wow. Is that your leftover Baileys from Christmas, or do you just have it in? Can't fault you if you do. It is a lovely drink. I'm quite new to the community, but sending Selkie healing light. Well, welcome to the community. Yeah, Selkie, the way I think of Selkie, is a proper stalwart of, particularly my early channel days. Selkie was always there, you know. No matter how many times you went live, no matter how many videos you put, Selkie was there, and there's tremendous support to me in the early days of my channel. Oh, Tina's working all day today. Ella has matcha latte. Oh, nice. Starbucks do a lovely matcha latte at the minute. Warm ginger water. Ginger water. Cup of tea. Saskia's here. Hello, Saskia. Shiraz for Golden. Can't fault you. Yeah, anything else that I might have missed? Making a Blood Mary now. Wow. I mean, Tammy Pie, you'll know Selkie. You'll remember Selkie, of course, because I think I hold you in a similar frame of mind when I think of Selkie, you know, right from the beginning there in the chats and things. So, yeah, there was a strong band, wasn't there, of people, like there is now, of course. It's just the community shifts and changes. Early days, yeah. Moran has a glass of red wine for me, as per usual, on a Saturday night. Good. Can't fault anybody for having a glass. I mean, I've still got Christmas port, but I'm trying to be good now. Slim and World wise, I went this week and I lost 5, so I'm like, right, focused. Well, you met her, didn't you, Sandra? Oh no, you wasn't at the first tarot meetup, was you, when Selkie was there? Does gin go well in coffee? I wouldn't say so. There are certain things that do go well in coffee, like brandy goes really well in coffee. Whiskey goes really well in coffee, but I wouldn't have said gin does. But, you know, try it. Let us know. Feedback. Ooh. Yes, Sandra did a live last night, and I spoke to Sandra afterwards. She was so natural. You know, I know, Sandra, you've often said, you won't mind me saying, that you're not always comfortable doing lives, but you wouldn't have known watching your live last night. So relaxed, so in your comfort zone. So, I mean, you're inspiring me to lose this extra weight I've been carrying. It's not easy, is it? Especially in winter, because obviously we have Christmas. So at Christmas, we've got that get out of jail free card, haven't we, where you kind of give them permission. Not that we need it. I have to reframe the way I talk about food, but you know, we're given that permission to go wild a bit. You know, there's parties, this you get gifts with chocolates, and there's the lovely Christmas dinners and Christmas pudding, and not to mention all the drinks, you know, your Baileys and your Advocaat and all that kind of stuff, which are all very high in, because Advocaat and Baileys in particular are cream, aren't they? So it's fat, but not only that, not only Christmas, when you're in winter, it's instinctively within us to eat food and keep warm. You know, when in winter, you really want the stodgy comfort warming food, don't you? Like stews and casseroles and hot pots and all things like that. Whereas when it's baking hot in summer, you're munching on a stick of cucumber, which you just don't want to do in winter. Cup of tea this end. It's only 8 a.m. Wow. So 11 hours behind us. So are you 11 hours? Oh no. Are you Australia? Are you in front? Are you Sunday? Or are you 8 a.m. Saturday? 11 hours. You could be Hawaii way, right, where Tammy Pie is. I think Tammy Pie, aren't you 11, 12, maybe 13 hours? Unless you're the other way, like I say, Sunday. Whiskey goes well with anything. I agree, Ferdiad. And it goes perfectly well just on its own. Especially a single malt, a nice single malt. Chris, of course, has his standard can of Iron Brew. You must be keeping Iron Brew in business. Gin and juice, coffee and whiskey. Never had gin and juice. I like gin and lemonade. I prefer it to gin and tonic, particularly the flavoured gins. I mean, my favourite is the Seville orange gin with lemonade. Lovely. We'll be making hot chocolate in an hour. You've planned it in. I like that, Wheelhouse. It keeps coming up. Leave site. Changes that you made may not be saved. Cancel. The browser warning you just saw is part of our safety feature to prevent accidental tab closure. I don't want you to close any tabs. I'm having my Mexican coffee with a pinch of cocoa. Or is it cacao and cayenne pepper? Gin and tonic. It's been a manic week at work. Same. And I almost cracked open the port that I got for Christmas last night. I was like, if ever I've had a glass of port, it's today. That's what I thought when I got home last night. Can't even begin to tell you what a week I've got. The week ahead coming up, I'm really looking forward to. I'm meeting our Cheryl on Monday from Wellness Emporium. She's over here this way in Nottingham. So we're meeting up Monday tea time to have a meal together and a bit of a catch up, and we're exchanging some mix. So that'll be lovely. It's only the second time I've met Cheryl in real life. I maintain this week, even though I've been on it 100% all week. What's that about? That's very Peter Kay. What's that about? So the scales can go after themselves. I don't want to sound like a Slimming World consultant, Chris, but that's happened to me a few times in the past. And sometimes it's your body regulating. And I do, and when they've said it to me, I think, oh yeah, whatever. That's just the Slimming World spiel. But whenever I've put it to the test, it has worked. And it's to stick with it because it will show this week, because your body does regulate. And you told me about, I think you put in last week's chat or something. Was it you? About gaining some weight, which we've all done over Christmas. So sometimes it doesn't show straight away. It's just our biology, isn't it? But stick with it, and I'm sure this week you'll get the result. Oh, I should go and work for Slimming World. Hi Trio, nice to see you. How are you doing? Tammy Pie is definitely slowing down with carbs. It's so easy to get in a habit. Yes. Hello, Vintage Moon. How are you? Nice to see you. New Zealand. Okay, so you're in the future. You're in tomorrow already. It's weird, isn't it, to think that you're on Sunday and we're on Saturday. Still never get it. Yeah. I mean, it's man-made. We're existing in exactly the same time period. I'll have to try Mexican coffee. Yeah, I've not heard of Mexican coffee. It's 9 a.m. where you are, so you're 10 hours behind. Wow. So that means you're 21 hours behind Tanya. 21 hours behind. Let's see. Single malt all the way. Yeah, definitely. Jammy red wine. What's a jammy red wine? Oh, somebody else is in New Zealand as well. 8 a.m. Is it 8 a.m. all the way across? Do you have one time zone? I'd imagine you would, because the two islands are kind of, they're not that way, are they? They're that way. Not that way, that way. It always amazes me that like South Africa is on the same time zone as us. I've got a friend who moved out there, and I was like, "Oh, what time is it there?" And they're like, "It's the same time." What? Baileys and coffee goes down very well. Too well. That's basically what I drank for Christmas. I did have the odd Baileys on its own, but the majority of the Baileys I had went in a coffee, especially in the morning. I mean, how bad's that? When I got to drive or get up for work, I'd get back into bed and I'd put a bit of Baileys in my coffee and catch up on social media. Bliss. Coldest 2 days in Florida for years. And Trisha said the same thing. I could go for Baileys even at this time in the morning for me. Yeah. Well, I hope the cold weather doesn't last for too much longer. I made an Earl Grey tea gin before. Just soak a couple of tea bags in gin for a couple of hours. Gorgeous with right. So as a cold drink, yeah. I am brooding it down well. A little sip wouldn't hurt, Simon. Yeah, but then I've broken the seal, haven't I, on the bottle? Not that that doesn't mean I can't resist it, but I think high percentage, high volume, I should say, of alcohol is good to keep for forever. But I think anything under 20% wouldn't keep till next Christmas. So if I had one now, I'd be like, I've got to finish it so it can stay a bit longer. Give Cheryl a big hug from all of us. I will. Is doing okay. It's doing okay now. I mean, obviously, Cheryl had said to me that she was supposed to be coming for work because there's a big hospital near us that she goes to, and not for treatment or anything like that, as part of her work. And she was concerned, obviously, about going if Bobby wasn't well enough. So the fact that she can come means that, Bobby is doing a lot better. How lovely that you meet with Cheryl. Yeah, it's really, really going to be nice. I'll post a picture in the Hermit's cave. I know it's Mexican coffee because I made it and I'm from Mexico City. I guess somebody was just asking that, what makes Mexican coffee different, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for somebody. We have Martin Luther King Day this Monday. So do you get the day off work? Is it a bank holiday? Weight loss is just hard, period. It takes work. It really does take work. I'm dreading Slimming World this week because I need to lose a lot. No, you don't need to lose a lot. You need to lose little and regularly. It's not about going and thinking, I've got a lot to lose. Otherwise, it becomes unsurmountable, doesn't it? We have to... And Slimming World's good at that. They set mini goals. So what would you like to lose in the next week? They're not going to... And they're realistic with you. So I usually say anywhere between 2 or 3 pound healthy weight loss each week. Love Mexican coffee, and Mexican hot chocolate is next level, but Mexico is only a 90-minute drive from me. We're all wondering what's in the Mexican coffee. I've lost 3 stone. Wow, well done, Marie. I've lost 3 stone with Slimming World in the past. You're inspiring me to go back. It's the right time of year, really, and it's a new plan now as well. Sorry to everybody outside the UK, you probably heard, "What? We're not here for Slimming World." Jammy red wine is like a red wine and a sherry mix. Ooh, ooh. So wine with a fortified wine. Oh, Robin's made it to the cafe. I'm at the cafe, but the snow has turned to rain. Sorry. I don't know. Don't know why I'm laughing. I don't want to get the giggles. I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't know why I find that funny. Um, staying focused is staying focused. Yeah, stay focused. It's all you can do. Okay, it's a struggle. It's called Jam Shed Red Wine. It's the fruitiest, juiciest wine ever. Are you in the UK, Heather? I'm going to have to look out for this Jam Shed. I'm still 5 minutes behind. Favorite drink for chilling is Snickers. Equal amounts of Kahula, Bailey. Frangelico? I've not heard of Frangelico. Over ice, it's like taking a muscle relaxer. Oh my gosh. In Mexico, we love tarot and coffee and read cards every day. It's just part of the culture. Cool. I would like to visit Mexico. I'd really like to go. My sister went a couple of years ago. Oh, I bet it's about 10 years ago actually now. And she absolutely loved it. She, it was the best holiday she'd ever been on. I am a fan of Earl Grey, but I just finished 7. But I just finished 7? 7 Earl Greys? God, you'll be buzzing. Simon made me do it. Boxing Day was a write-off because I discovered Bailey's coffee. Great to hear Bobby's on the mend. Yeah. I made you do Bailey's and coffee, did I? It was your whole Boxing Day was a write-off. How did you make it? Chai latte with French fries coming. Well, there's your reward, Robin. In Caught in the Rain, you can have some nice chai latte. Falling iguana alerts in Florida. A thing. I guess it's a step up from raining cats and dogs, but iguanas. Bailey's with soda on ice. Well, I couldn't add, and no, I'd had soda and water down my Bailey's. It would all curdle, wouldn't it? My favourite mix to put in Bailey's is Kahula. Or if I haven't got that, then Tia Maria. But a bit like the baby Guinness, but equal measures. Yes, Sunday is never a lie-in for me with ceasing. Watch us in bed. Maybe that's what you could do. Have a bit of a lie-in and take your iPad or however you watch YouTube. Hi, Gail. Nice to see you. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Oh, is that when I was, is that when I was laughing earlier? Jam Shed is definitely in the UK. I'm going to look out for that. In fact, hey Siri, remind me tomorrow at 11 a.m. to look for Jam Shed. Done it. I hope everybody's if everybody's sat watching this with an Apple device, they'll be like, you'll have a reminder popping up tomorrow at 11 a.m. to go and look for Jam Shed. Let's all check back in next week and see how we got on with our jam sheds. I'm not here next week, by the way. That's reminded me. Next week, I'm on a ABC adventure. We're going to Beaver Castle, and there's a witch grave there and legend as well. So I'll try and do some vlogging. And then the Saturday after, we've got Spotlight. It's the last day of January, I think. 31st of Jan. Would that be right? Let me consult my little Hobonichi. I'm sure we wrote it in, didn't we? 31st, yeah, CC&C. So 2 weeks today, CC&C, Spotlight. I had my first weigh-in of the year at the doctor's, and so let down with myself. 6 kilos gained since the end of October. It happens, doesn't it? Again, we're going into the colder months, and we're just programmed that way. That's what I think, anyway. Franco is hazelnut liqueur. Oh, that sounds lovely. Love hazelnut. Anything with hazelnuts, I love it. Yep, I'm in the UK, Simon. Check it out if you really like sweet, fruity red. I don't like dry red wine or red wine that tastes like vinegar. My favourite red wines is Malbec or Rioja or Chateauneuf de Pape if I'm feeling very extravagant. Maureen says, Frangelico is my favourite thing in coffee. A little Baileys would go well with it. Hazelnut liqueur. That sounds nice. Ah, Cheryl is here. Just listening in tonight as painting the kitchen now. The repairs have been done. Oh, it's done. Brilliant. But now you've got the painting and decorating task. People have been asking how Bobby is, as you might have heard. People saying hello to Cheryl. Poor iguanas, I know. It means the temps drop too low and they freeze and fall out the trees. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I wondered how they got up there. Because I've seen, and it can't be bogus. I know we live in the world of AI now, so we challenge everything that we see. But I remember it when I was a kid. It might have been something like Arthur C. Clarke, where it started raining fish and frogs. And I was like, gosh, and how do they get sucked up to the clouds to then rain down? Unless it's a storm that takes them up. Don't know why I haven't kind of thought that out or thought to look it up in the last 40 years. This is a bit like an AA meeting rather than therapy. You know, I did say that this week we would just chat about anything. So I'll put it out there as well. You know, if you've got any questions or anything you want to ask me or anything you want to discuss, I'm up for anything tonight. I just thought we'd go with the flow this week rather than having something structured. And I was panicky last week that we're running out of time and trying to get everything in, and it always feels a bit rushed at the end. So I thought this week it's just going to be chilled. You can see some decks. We can talk tarot. I have got one thing to show. But yeah, just kind of go with the flow. Oh no, I hope it warms up in Florida for the iguanas. He's a lot better, Trisha, now upstairs playing with playing Elvis songs full blast. A good sign, Cheryl, a really good sign, isn't it? You don't want to put the iguanas in your car because they will warm up and wake up. This is fascinating. I'm learning something. Simon, you'll love Jam Shed. I'm going to try it. And then when I get on the scales this week, she says, "What's happened?" I said, "I discovered Jam Shed." I've got nothing else to say. Oh my God, I didn't think it was a thing, Iguana Falls. That must be something to witness. The Iguana Falls. So then I don't know if you're all winding me up. Are you all in another like little group somewhere and you're saying, keep this going? It's really even that iguanas fall from the sky. You're all in another little secret chat, aren't you? And now we've got Iguana Falls. Is that a windmill? Is that a waterfall named after the phenomenon? Must see your journey to the witch's grave. Yeah, I will. Just reading some chats. Visualizing Simon doing a kahula in his grass skirt. Oh, Kahlua. Yeah. I've never always buy Tia Maria, but didn't we have it when we went to Stonewall? Yes, we did, because I had a Black Russian and they asked what it was, and I said Tia Maria, vodka and Coke. And they was like, "What's Tia Maria?" And I said, "It's like a coffee liqueur." And then she got that. And that's the only time I had it in Stonewall in New York. And does anyone try Sainsbury's pistachio cream liqueur? I can't look at these creamy drinks. Do the iguanas get rescued if they fall from the trees? I can't quite get my head around what's happening. We must be the same age. I remember Arthur C. Clarke. What I always remember about Arthur C. Clarke is the stones that move by themselves in the desert. Does anybody remember that episode? And there'll be like drag marks in the sand. These huge, giant rocks, huge, that can't physically be moved by any human, were moving. And you'd probably say it could be tectonic plates or whatever, but the beaches or the sand would be perfectly smooth, but there'd be these drag marks up to the stone, like they've been dragged. I always remember that one. Tarot Readers Anonymous. Saturday night, 7 p.m. UK time. This is a safe space. Simon, are you and Sandra going to Glastonbury for Beltane this time? Probably not Beltane, no. Maybe Lamas. Maybe. We're going to talk about Sandra's coming here in a few weeks, next month. And I think we're going to be talking about or planning our trip then. Question, Simon. I have Robert Place's deck and Tabula Mundi. Which Robert Place deck? Harder to interpret than Rider-Waite-Smith systems. Is there a good book you would recommend? I mean, Tabula Mundi is Thoth-based. So I thought it was up there. fourth book that I got that I thought was quite. I mean, there's Ron Milo DeQuette's book, which I would recommend. It's actually quite easy to read, and I didn't think it would be, but it's a very interesting read. I can't think what it's called though. Ron Milo DeQuette's, is it? I've got it. I've got it down here, I think. But if I try and find it now, what's that one? No, that's Tarot and the Archetypal Journey. It's one I've had quite recently. That's on the. No, if I try and find it now, I will spend ages. Oh, that's a good book as well. Have you read that? The Devil's Picture book. Paul Hewson, who did the Dame Fortune's Wheel Tarot. I love that deck as well. I've got it out on the sofa. I was looking at it earlier. I can't. I'd have to put a big light on. Big light. But as for Robert M. Place decks, it will depend on which one. I mean, I'm assuming you're probably talking of the Alchemical Tarot, but he's got a lot of books out that you buy separately. So if you was to Google Robert M. Place books, because there's a whole range of books that you can get. Hi Jen, how are you? Nice to see you. We're still on about those iguanas are cold-blooded, so it's somewhat like they fall asleep. Have you done the new Forest of Enchantment Oracle deck? Yes, I have. A few months ago, probably about 6 months ago or so, Cheryl sent it me. We covered it on Spotlight, and then I did a walkthrough video of it. Mini Jan Heatwave. Wow. Alcento Tarot. I've been deep diving with it, and it really terrific. Yes, it really is a great deck. It featured in my top 10 decks of 2025. Such a good deck. The more you work with it as well, the more you grow to love it. I have a question, Simon. How do you start with clearing out your decks? There's the question. I have some I haven't used for years and think I've outgrown them, but can't seem to part with them. I'm a hoarder. I can relate, Heidi, 110%. I did a video a few months ago, and I've got believe it or not, a system, but I have gone. So I've got my decks are in 3 categories, not as in Tarot, Oracle, Lenormand. I mean, of how I'm organizing them. These are my ones I need to have near me. However, around me here, I've got, see, I could try and show, well, I can't show you all, but like, I might regret doing this. Like, I have things like this, which are my grab decks. I'm going to put it down here now because I'll probably break a goddess statue or something. And then I've got a bit like pigeonholes along here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, where I can just grab a deck that I use a lot. So this is my 1JJ Swiss vintage edition. Or I've got Pippa. So because if I want a straight up pip deck, I've got Pippa. So they're there. So I can just grab them. One I've been using a lot recently is the James Bond deck. So I have the ones around me that I grab for. I also have, this has got a few in there because I've been a bit naughty. I've got this one here, which has both of my Metanoia Marseilles. But I've also been using the Oracle deck, Roots of Wings. So I kind of put that there because I just wanted to grab it. And then, my Lubunka. So they've been there and they're kind of sat on top. But normally it's just the Metanoia decks. I've just dropped something. It's that artwork. Little loss from Glastonbury. And then all of these here are like the ones that I know I'm going to use. So I've got like Marco Benedetti, Don Meneghello, RWS, goes over then to Marseille, Toth, Italian, it's etc. Tinned decks, Deviant Moon, Cubbyhole, retro vintage, like 70s and 80s decks. So this is kind of in a system when I organised everything. And then in the back room are decks that I don't want to get rid of. Don't want to work with them at the moment. Well, not that I'm not called to work with them at the moment as much as these, but they're not going anywhere. So they're displayed on a wall unit in the back room. And then I've got 3 boxes of decks that I'm unsure of, whether they go in or stay in. I'm not sure. So they're like what people call purgatory boxes. And then when I go into the bedroom, I've got a walk-in closet. And in there, I've got 5 huge containers that are full of decks that I decided at the time I'm letting go of. At some point, I don't know how, but at some point they will go. However, I've gone into those, and dug out decks. And it might just be that I'm watching a tag and someone pulls out a deck and I look at it and think, oh, lovely, I've got that. What? And I think, oh, it's going to be one of those containers. Well, I'm looking at this now and I see why I bought it the first time. So then I brought them out and they've gone into the middle room because I think, yeah, I'm not ready to let them go yet. So part of me worries that had I had the opportunity at the time when I did this to have a stall or something or take them all to the charity shop, and those moments came where I was like, I've got that deck, I'm going to get it. They've gone, haven't they? And I end up buying again, which I've done so many times in the past. Got my system, but I'm just glad I haven't let anything go completely yet. Okay, that just showed that I disappeared for a split second then. Here's another question. Simon, if a tarot card has a different image to the traditional image, like RWS, how do you read it? Do you read it intuitively and according to image or just stick to traditional meaning? My first gut reaction to that is traditional meaning. But then I will look at the image and think, okay, well, what can I layer on top of that? Is there anything I can take from this image? Because, you know, if I just randomly think of 6 of swords, I automatically in my mind see the boat, the people on the boat, you know, moving from choppy waters, calmer shores, that journey, that transition from something troubling to something better, all of that, I see it. But if I don't necessarily, well, I do. If I'm reading a Pip deck, I was going to grab Pippa again then. But if I'm reading a Pip deck, oh my God. Was that bit, did I automatically subconsciously clock that image was there? So when I've just thought of a card, because look, 6 of swords, that is spooky, but that's tarot. I do think of that, but then I also think because it's 6 swords, my mind goes to the numerological association and I think of harmony, which isn't a far stretch, is it? When you think of the RWS, harmonious, we're moving towards that. And again, moving towards that because the 5 has been this change, this disruption. So then you've got the harmony of the 6, but of course it's then swords, so it's harmony here. So with in terms of your question, if it's a different image, not a pip deck, my mind goes to that, and then I look at the image, and if it's something really different, I bring in that. I start thinking about, okay, well, does this give me the same energy? Is it, moving towards a more harmonious and a settling down period after some turbulence? Or is the image completely different? Then it almost makes that tarot deck a system of its own. Not a system of its own. Tarot is the system, kind of like its own thing. It's doing its own thing. So there isn't a straightforward answer, I'm afraid, Saskia. It depends. But I think I'm more towards the traditional meaning and then a little bit of intuition in terms of what that creator is portraying in that card. Does that make sense? There is a book. Oh, somebody else answered here. Janine, there is a book for Tabula Mundi by M.M. Moline. OMP has a huge book. Yeah, I've got his book. And it does bring in a few decks, like Sevenfold Mystery as well. It's the one with the great big long title of Hermeticism and everything else. Sandra's getting really upset about these poor creatures that are falling from the skies. Moran says, I've Googled it, Simon. It's real. Iguanas go up in trees to avoid predators at night. And if it freezes at night, they fall down because they freeze. Oh. And I can understand that. When it was talked about earlier, raining iguanas, though, my mind was like, what? How can that be? It's not necessarily raining iguanas. They're falling from trees. Heidi loves Tia Maria. Probably number one drink. It has to be neat, though. Nothing else with it. Yeah. Have you not had it as a Black Russian with vodka and Coke? What? Simon, have you done like a top to decks that you believe will be classics in 30 to 50 years? Kind of. I did a video called Classics, where I talked about decks that I feel have got that status. I think it was called that, or Modern Day Classics, or let me see if I can find it quickly. It was a couple of years ago, I think. No, it's not going to show, is it? No. I'll put my title in, as in Hermit's Cave. See if that brings it up. No, it's brought up 10 years, 10 decks. Top 10 decks of 2025. That's had a lot of views to say that's only a month old. Well, it must be because Sandra's done a VR. Showing Sandra's VR there, look. Modern Classics, a VR to the Hermit's Cave. But it's not coming up for me. So, oh, there it is. Tarot, the Modern Classics. Oh gosh, it's more than 2 years old. It's 2021. But it's that one. Modern Classics. 2021. That's nearly 5 years. Wow. Let's get the chat back up. I've lost you all. I've lost you all. Live. Live. Where are you? Ah, there we go. Back. Wow, I'm 16 minutes behind in the chat. Let's see if I can. If Simon started getting rid of decks, we would all be on his doorsteps at 5 a.m. like the Boxing Day Christmas sales. Do you know what? If you could all get to Nottingham, I mean, we're on cameras in this building, but I'd easily set up a pasting table and fill it full of decks. You on about the pistachio liqueur? Can't speak for Simon, but I put the unused decks in a box somewhere. And remember a deck, it comes back out. Yeah, kind of the same. Kind of the same. Simon, any plans to visit that London this year? Probably. I tend to go every year. Maybe summer. It's almost a year since I last went. I met up with Sandra in March when we went to Warburg Institute to see the tarot collection. I can't believe that's 10 months ago. And the year before I went twice. Now, our Kim is over from the States in London, but I think it's on days that I'm working. I think she said July, but we do break up towards the end of July. So there might be an opportunity because I would love to catch up with Kim on British soil, because last time I saw her was in New York. But so if I can get to London for that, then I will. I have another question, Simon. Do you do deck interviews? I haven't for a while, you know. I recently did one for a new tarot deck and I got some very negative cards, which put me off a bit. What I would do if I had that situation is I would try and bond with it a bit more first. So keep it close to you. If you want to, you know, I won't use the word smudge, but use incense around it, cleanse it. Some people put them in little pouches and put them under the pillow and sleep with them, but bond with it. And then ask different questions. And you can Google tarot card interview questions, and there'll be a whole raft of them. Come up with some different questions, see if you get some different responses once you've bonded with it a bit. Beltane in Glastonbury would be so cool. Gosh, I've been on an hour. This is flying, but this is fun. I love the trips to Simon's house. It always feels like I'm on a sleepover. Can you spell it? What are you wanting us to spell? I'm like 17 minutes behind. I've got no idea what I said 17 minutes ago. Oh, L'Homme de Cat's book that Simon's referring to. Fortune's Wheelhouse goes through each card. Okay. I thought then you were referring to the deck that I mentioned by Paul Hewson. That's Dame Fortune's Wheel Tarot. That is a deck that is underrated. That is absolutely fantastic deck. And every time I dig that deck out, and the book is great. I mean, the book you buy separately because it's a Lo Scarabeo deck, but it's a great deck. Really good. We'll start about liquor. Is that what it's called on Marlowe de Cat's book, Understanding Alacrali's Toff Tarot? I'm dipping my toes still. I have got, I was looking at it earlier because I have, little story. When I was lighting Selkie's candle, I'm going to be really careful with this now. This is one of those, I got it when I went to Bakewell last. So this little candle holder it's also got a dish where you can put sand in and burn incense and that. And it's lovely. But the hole is a lot wider. It's almost like for a thicker candle. So I did that bit where you put some wax in the bottom, stick it in, and then it toppled and fell on the floor. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I thought, what if I'd walked away and hadn't seen that, and look at how much kind of fuel there is. And then it got me thinking of that, you know, if there was a fire, how many decks would you take and all that? And I thought about it, and if there was a fire, I can't be searching around for, oh, which deck shall I take? You just don't think like that, do you? You just don't think like that. So this box that I got in Glastonbury last year, I'll just grab this, because in this, I have my Power 3, and this has got a purpose because you're on about Toth. This is the Oracle deck. I put this in there today. This is the one that I showed this morning, the Radiant Sun. And then in here, I have my RWS deck. I have my Ancient Italian, so my Pip deck. And then I have my Greenie. And this is a pouch, Greenie pouch. It fits perfectly, that Kelly Bear made. So they're all in there, ready to go if I need to. Because then I've got everything you need, isn't it? You know, they don't have to be the most expensive or the most extravagant. If you lose everything and you're a tarot reader, you just want, in my opinion, an RWS, a Pip deck, Marseille deck, Italian deck, whatever. If you read Thoth, a Thoth deck and an Oracle, and with them you can live happily. Knowing me though, I'd be then thinking, oh, I must replace this, but some decks are irreplaceable, unless you're prepared to spend a fortune on getting a deck that's long out of print. But it's good to just have a box that I can just grab in that situation and know I've got all four, rather than a blaze all around me and I'm scratching around to find decks. But yeah, I'm getting on okay with it. I do pull it out every so often. I really like the Greenie. I love the colours of it. I think if I hadn't have gone into a sojourn of Pip decks last year, but that was the catalyst for it. So I mentioned last March, me and Sandra went to Warburg Institute, and that's where I saw Lady Frida Harris's original paintings, which was stunning. You could see the brush strokes and everything, as you would with original painting. And that made me think about it. And then, of course, I went on that trip and they'd got a Greenie in the shop that wasn't for sale. And then I was a bit frustrated that it wasn't for sale. And then I thought, well, there's obviously a pull happening here towards it. So let's get one. And I bought the one off MPC, which was a little pocket one that I saw on Tammy Pie's channel, which is up here. And that's the big one. But the little one is up there as well. But the one off MPC. And I really enjoyed working with it, and I worked with it for a whole month exclusively. But now every so often I'll pull it out. I have a couple of indie decks I'm possibly going to let go of, possibly more too. Well, that's kind of piqued our interest. Do let me know. Don't break anything. Try not to. Just looking for more questions. I'm not that far behind, am I? Your curation system method is admirable. Question for you, Simon. Have you worked out the value of your entire collection, and have you checked your contents insurance is enough to cover them? No. No, I've got a rough idea, but it fluctuates, doesn't it? As soon as I mean, how many decks have I got? Let's have a look at my iBib. As soon as if you've got a certain amount, as soon as you've got a deck in your collection and it goes out of print, the value just goes up. So with over 1,000 decks, I can't get an exact number on it. So LIBIB, it's just opening. 1,092, and I haven't updated it since Grieving Tarot. So after the Grieving Tarot, I got the Visionary Tarot, the La Incarnation, Great Parade. There's still a few more I've got to get in. They're over here, and that they wait there until I log them, and then they go onto the shelves or wherever they go in. Hello, Thace. Nice to see you. Most used deck in 2025 was Pagan Otherworlds. Good deck. I would look at it this way. Are you really attached to it if you put it away and out of sight? Yeah, I'm not. And the method I used when I was decluttering was, I haven't used this for at least 2 years. It can go in the... But then you see somebody else talk about it, and then you watch a walkthrough and you think, oh, I want to work with that again. And well, I've got it. I'll go and get it. At what number of collected decks is the point? Is intervention prudent? Sorry, let me read that again. At what number of collected decks is the point? Is intervention prudent? The struggle is real. Yeah. Hi, Cat. Yeah, this was helpful. Thanks. It's why I loathe to part with them in case I regret it. I bought so many decks. So many decks. And when I did declutter, I was ruthless. I was like, this is ridiculous. I've got to be ruthless. And I think perhaps I was a little bit too ruthless. Yeah, but I bought back so many decks. Yes, you're right. And I wasn't thinking split-second decisions must be made. But then if you make a split-second decision, what was that saying? My mum always used to say it years ago. It was about rushing and repent at leisure or something like that. Something about haste and repent at leisure, but people are talking about Pagan Otherworlds. Hi, Twigger. I want to ups, not downsize. You know, that library scene in Beauty and the Beast with yes. Yeah. And I've actually got in the built-in closet, 2 wall units that has got DVDs on. And it flashed through my mind this morning to take off all the DVDs and put them into containers and display my tarot decks that are in containers. But that defeats the whole point of me doing what I did. And then when I want to watch a film, but they will stack easier. But anyway, because they're all the same size, aren't they, DVDs? But they don't freeze. They're reptiles and their bodies go into protective mode and shut down. They fall out of the trees and such, but they are almost hibernation mode. Do not worry. It's good to know. Good to know these iguanas aren't freezing. Talking to people freezing. Robin, you still there? Are you in your cafe? Are you nice and warm? Have you got your chai latte and your chips? I can't believe people talking about iguanas. The theme of tonight has been frozen iguanas. I think the Matrinoa deck is going to be a classic. Absolutely. I agree. Wholeheartedly. My nephew lives in Nottingham and I'll have to make a visit. Wow, that's cool. Is he at uni here? It's a big uni city. I didn't know until today, or if I did, then I certainly forgot, that Sulis Tarot, Chris did a video earlier of a gift he'd been sent from a community member of a spread cloth and tarot pouch from Sulis Creations, not Sulis Tarot, Sulis Creations. And he said, "Oh, and they're in Nottingham." I was like, "Are they?" And I looked them up, and they are. They don't have a physical shop, so that'd be cool. A physical, a physical shop in Nottingham where you could go and get tarot pouches and spread cloths. They're still on about iguanas. Where are we? What's it? I don't want to add to your worries, but I worry for you. My friend owned a metaphysical bookstore and they converted their house to a store. They had to reinforce support. Yeah, that's because it's a house. This is a tower block and it's made of concrete and steel. Don't need to worry about reinforcing floors. Not when you're 19 stories up. No, it's not Kim from Abundant Life Tarot, although it would be wonderful to meet Kim. It's Kim, our Kim, that's in the chat. I met her I could say last year, but it's the year before now. But it was only just over a year ago, December of 24 in New York. Simon, I received my Ehrenberg Tarot last week after the CC&C of last week, and I love it. Such a great deck. It is, isn't it? That's another underrated deck. I mean, that was part of the tag. The tag question was decks that I felt didn't get the love and attention they deserved. Ehrenberg is brilliant. And I thought that would become, the new Morgan Greer. And maybe it will in time. Things aren't always popular till years later, are they? Just looking for questions because I'm so behind. I'm 11 minutes behind now, so I'm catching up, people, because it's 8:15 already. What would be in everybody else's grab firebox? Yeah, there's a question. In reality, I'm grabbing my wallet, keys, cat, and getting out. Sandra wants a greenie. Jen needs to make a firebox. I'm kind of simple. I keep a basket of my fave, a couple of books, a few tarot, and a few oracle. Chris would need Mary L, Indie Lightseers, and my blue box RWS. Yeah, good choices. Actually, it's better to have a fireproof safe. Where are we? Let's see. Been on the fence about Toth. And about the greenies now. Just looking for questions. I'm only 5 minutes behind. Yes, Simon, you need a little local shop to get your tarot stuff in case you run out. Yeah. Yeah. You never know. Could happen. I've had a few tarot pouches and spread cloths from Sulis Creations. Excellent quality. They are. Robin says, I think my fire escape choices are in my shoulder bag. Goes with me every time I leave the house. 4 decks in there. RWS Mini, Open Face, Manuscripts of Initiation, and the Sigils Oracle Tarot. I knew manuscripts of initiation would be one that you would want to take, Robin. Simon, are you on the top floor? It's not too much personal question. It's not a personal question. I read it a different way first, and I was like, what? What personal question is this being asked? Yes, I am. The penthouse, darling. I've had to run from a fire twice, never even into my mind to grab a deck. It's funny you say that, Tammy Pie, because what was that channel called? The guy was called Govinda, and he did a live one Saturday, and I was in the live stream, and Becca was in the live stream as well, and all the fire alarms went off in the building, and I legged it, and all the lifts were out of order because there would be, in the tower block with a fire bell going. Turned out to be a false alarm, but I was halfway down the stairs, and Becca rang me. She said, "Are you okay? You've had to leave." And I said, "Yeah, we've got to leave the building because the fire alarms are going." And then it wasn't until much later, when I was back up and safe and everything was calmed down, that I realised I didn't take a deck. I just got the hell out, as Emma said. I suppose if we got an intercom saying that there was, because it's more likely for it to be a bomb scare, because I've had that twice. I've even been on TV, interviewed on TV and on local radio with bomb scares. And if we get a tunnel indication that, they're going to ask us to leave the building, so, it's not on fire, we haven't got to rush, but we are rushing, then I'd probably make a more conscious, I think, right, I need a coat, I probably need an overnight bag, and that box. I love your card on your necklace. It looks green. Card? Is that somebody else in the chat? If it's this is just a pentacle, and that got in Glastonbury, silver pentacle. It might look green because of the green jumper. I'm getting anxiety thinking about fireboxes. I have no idea. I just feel a heartbreak thinking everything. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just it's been a question that's been posed around the tarot community for as long as I've been on YouTube, and before I was on YouTube, just listening to people. It was always, if there's a fire, which deck would you take? And all it's getting you to think about is like, what's your prize deck, isn't it, really? But I just want something that I could grab quickly. I'm not that far behind now. Penthouse Darling in Simon's Best. Eva Gabor. Ava Gabor. Ava Gabor? What is it, Jar Jar Gabor? Or was Ava Jar Jar's sister? I wonder how you read that, Simon. Well, did you read it the same way? Simon, what decks are in your everyday leaving house bag? My everyday leaving house bag, is it under here or is it in the back room? See, I have my rucksack, which is my work bag, that has my Dirty Pam trimmed that Kelly Bear did for me back in 2018, 8 years ago. That's in my work bag, so that goes everywhere with me. Other than that, I have a little bag under the desk at the back, that if I'm going somewhere, so when I go like next Saturday, maybe see Adventures, I'll often take a deck with me because it sounds like a little bit of a reading. We did one on a steam train last year. It was cool. And I'll probably take one of those, like the Ancient Italian or one of those decks, and put them back in. Depends on what I'm working with. But the one that's always in my bag, my work bag, is the modified Dirty Pan. Where'd you get your wounding figure? I remember you showing it ages ago, but can't find it anywhere. From a place called Dandelion Dreams, all one word, and dreams with a Z at the end. It's a shop in Glastonbury, and they do the Wound Eater figures. She's lovely. Lots of people comment. I had some friends around us before Christmas, and they loved them. Now you've done it. I live in a wooden house over here. I believe there were three. Oh, there were 3 Gabor sisters. Wow. Oh, Matronoa Tarot's out of print. The second one's just gone out of print in the last week, Cheryl told me. I think there's going to be a 3rd edition, though. Probably be a Kickstarter again, but yeah, the 2nd edition has gone out of print. They're so beautiful. Can you say more about the manuscripts of initiation? I do have it. I've got a copy that Robin gave me. It's down where, I'll have to try and find it. I know it's down here, but this is where I've got all my pouches and things. And it's better than the first one that they brought out. And it was it wasn't brilliant. And then they brought out a 2nd version, which seems a lot better cardstock and everything. I asked because if there's a fire at home while you're at work, what decks are you left with? The decks you have on you? Then it'll just be the Dirty Pan modified. But I can't take that box with me to work every day. But there's chance. Well, no, there isn't less chance. Like I say, only less chance because I'm not at home to cause a fire, but then somebody else could cause a fire. But they keep assuring us, and this is why I went on TV and was interviewed, they keep assuring us that actually the safest place is to stay put, because this building is so secure that you're safer in your own flat with your windows closed and staying put while the building burns than trying to get out. And I get it, because we're on top of a shopping mall. So there's only 2 points where you can get to the shopping mall through stairs. The rest are elevators down. So if those elevators are off, there is a gap between the apartments and the roof of the shopping centre because you can walk under it. So, yeah, I don't even know the way out. Well, I do, but in the panic of a fire, I'd be thinking, you know, how do I get out again? That's giving you some comfort for when you come next month, hasn't it, Sandra? I wanted one of the ghost statue things you have, and I can't get one, Simon. Ghost statues as in from York, the York ghost merchants. Is that what you meant? I mean, my grub also is from where Dandelion Dreams, where I got the Wound Eater. I love him. Look at his face. That's grub. Soaks up negative energies. See if there's anything else. Oh, Chris has got a universal weight that he keeps in the car. You could be a lot worse than only being left with a dirty pan. I mean, let's be honest, all we need is a tarot deck, isn't it? I mean, it's lovely to have a collection, It's wonderful to have a collection. I'm very fortunate to have the collection that I've got. But if I lost it, but my life's intact, then all's good. Yes, thank you, Simon. I was thinking all this talk of firing your flat. Okay, I made it to the bottom. I will take a day trip to York when I go to Edinburgh. Are you coming to the UK, Tammy Pie? You have to go to York. York is beautiful. And just to stand and look at York Minster as well. 250 years to build. I mean, how many generations of families worked on that and never even seen it finished? Gosh. Unbelievable how many generations back. But when you look at it, the scale of it and the detailing of it is mind-blowing. It's one of the most impressive buildings in the country. But again, it's often overlooked for other things. Oh, you caught up. Okay, last question then, because it's almost past and I'll pull a tile. I'm writing again as you haven't noticed my question. I do apologise. Do you put your cards in a particular order or just clean them? Do you have a card that closes the deck? No. Do I put or just clean them? As in reset them? No, I don't have them in any particular order, unless I'm resetting them. And again, I've chatted to Chris about this and he's like, why? But after my major arcana, I always go with cups first, and then I have wands, swords, and pentacles last. Fun question. If you lost it all, what's the first deck you'd run to a shop and buy? An RWS. I'd probably buy two. I would probably drive to Chesterfield to Curious Goods and I'd buy an RWS. Although, yeah, I was going to say, what choice have they got? They've got the 1909 deck, but I'd probably go to Cheryl. I'd say, Cheryl, can you get... I'd get an RWS deck. I'd probably get Golden Age if it's still in stock. I'd get Golden Age, and I'd get Ancient Italian. I'd get a Greenie. I'd replace them. First, and then everything else, whatever comes. Because I'm not going to be sitting around trying to get a good deal on a Blushing Fool. I'd need to get those 4 replaced first. Reordering trumps, wands, cups, swords, pentacles. So yours, it's just the first 2 switched around, yeah. Fun. If I lost all my decks and I went to a shop to buy a new deck, I will buy the RWS. Yeah. Same, I would. What? Yeah. What's the deck we're talking about? There's one on NPC called My Dirty Pam. Oh, that's Conrad's deck, My Dirty Pam. I think... I don't know if I've still got it out or whether I put it somewhere. I did have it out for the longest time on here. I'm not sure where it is now, but it's a really thick deck with the roses and lilies back. But it's an actual scan of his deck that he's done thousands of readings with. It's pretty cool, actually. I'm not sure where I put it now. Right, let's pull a tile. And a few people have asked, what are these tiles that you're pulling? So these are Jamie Sawyer's tarot tiles. It's got many different versions out, but this one, these ones, I've got the tile, by the way. These ones, I know I drop them, are the 1909 RWS tiles. Okay. What have we got? We've got a major. We have the Lovers, my life path card. Okay, so message for the week. It's time to commit. Time to commit to something, whether that's relationship choice or even to commit to ending a relationship or walking away from a relationship. First, though, and it's just the word that came straight to me was time to commit, and not be something you always think about with the Lovers card, but it's about taking responsibility for the choices that you make. What I would say is be safe in the knowledge of your awareness of who you actually are and what values you hold. First and foremost, know yourself, know what your values are, make a commitment to a relationship, and it doesn't have to be a sexual relationship or a partner, significant other. There's many relationships, but sometimes it's important to know your values, and even if it means taking a responsibility to walk away from that relationship as well, if it's no longer serving you. Equally, this week, it could be the time to recommit to a relationship. Again, thinking of what your values are. All right, so that's our message for the week. I'm knackered. I feel like I might have an early night. But anyway, thank you everyone for being here. Just remember, not here next week because I'm on a trip. Jamie Sawyer. Hello, Anna. Nice to see you. Who sells those tiles? It's Jamie Sawyer's tarot tiles. I think they're still available. And it comes in a beautiful box. In fact, let me share the box. This is the box. And on the back, it says Rider-Waite-Smith, 1909. And this is version Pame tarot tiles. I mean, it says 1909 Pame. Pame was 1910, but we're not going to split hairs. And yeah, the box, and you get the tiles in them. They are quite expensive, but they last a lifetime, and they're beautifully done. So I love them, and I find them easier to pull each week than deciding on the deck and that sort of thing. So we always pull one at the end of CC&C. But thank you for dropping in. It's lovely to see you. Hope you're okay. And congratulations as well on the success of Bonestone mass release. I don't know if you follow Cheryl at Oneness Emporium on Instagram, but she's been doing a top 10 of her best-selling decks from her shop, Oneness Emporium. And Bonestone Earth Flesh was the #1 selling deck. And to say it came out later in the year as well, that was fantastic. They weren't available a while back. Worth every penny, says Tammy Pie. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. See you in the week. I'm doing a video tomorrow, and there'll be some others because my big ticket item should be arriving this week, the Christmas present to myself. So I'm excited to share that with you. All right. Take care. And until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.